What if what they did behind a closed bathroom door was actually the first sign of a failing brain? It started with strange behaviors, things they couldn't explain and didn't want to believe. In this video, you'll discover 7 unusual bathroom habits that often appear before dementia is diagnosed. All of them were observed and documented by families. If someone you love has started doing any of these, don't ignore it. What feels like just getting older might be the brain's scream for help. Let's get started. Number 1. Leaving the bathroom door open. Elizabeth, 77, had always been proper. She wore lipstick to the mailbox and kept a lavender sachet in every drawer. So when her son noticed she'd started leaving the bathroom door wide open, even with guests in the house, it felt off. At first, they thought it was just forgetfulness, but then it kept happening. Elizabeth would make eye contact mid-use, say nothing, and continue as if nothing was unusual. Then one day, she crossed a line. At her son's house, she used the bathroom with the door wide open, casually chatting with her grandson as if she were still in the living room. That was the moment her son stopped brushing it off and scheduled a cognitive evaluation. Elizabeth was soon diagnosed with frontotemporal dementia, just a year after her unusual behavior began. Brain health experts confirm that one of the earliest signs of frontotemporal dementia is a loss of social inhibition. As damage spreads through the frontal lobes, behaviors that were once automatic, like closing the door for privacy, are no longer filtered. Seniors may not realize their actions are inappropriate because the part of the brain responsible for judging social boundaries is no longer working as it used to. New dementia videos daily. Feel free to subscribe. Number 2. Aggressive about bathroom scheduling. At 71, Lane became unusually possessive of the bathroom, asking what time everyone planned to use it, and demanding that they stick to the schedule. At first, his wife assumed he was just being difficult and didn't push it, but soon he began blocking the door with a chair, claiming he didn't want anyone sneaking in ahead of him. Over time, his behavior became more hostile. He accused his granddaughter of hogging the toilet on purpose, and once yelled at his wife for brushing her teeth outside of her assigned time. The final straw came one evening at family dinner, when Lane locked himself in the bathroom and shouted, "I booked this hour. Back off or I'll call the cops." His wife was mortified, and that moment finally pushed her to seek help. Lane was diagnosed with frontotemporal dementia later that week. Looking back, his strange bathroom obsession had started nearly 2 years earlier. Cognitive researchers confirm that early damage to the brain's frontal lobe can trigger obsessive thinking, control issues, and inappropriate emotional outbursts over routines. When dementia begins disrupting judgment and flexibility, even something as simple as a shared bathroom schedule can spark disproportionate conflict. Number 3. Urinating in the wrong place. 69-year-old Dorothy had always been modest and a little shy about personal matters. But that year, she started using the bathroom more and more and never seemed to remember if she had just gone. When asked, she'd shrug and say, "Just staying hydrated." Then things got stranger. One morning, she placed a towel in the bathtub and sat on it, saying the toilet seat was too cold. Another time, she pulled the car over on a residential street and relieved herself in a bush, insisting it felt more natural. But the turning point came when her daughter walked in and found her squatting over the kitchen trash can, muttering, "This is close enough." That day, the family finally stopped making excuses and called for a full evaluation. Dorothy was diagnosed with Lewy body dementia shortly after her 70th birthday. Cognitive research shows that when dementia begins affecting spatial awareness and object recognition, even basic routines like using the toilet can break down. Seniors may mistake one fixture for another, forget where the bathroom is, or lose the brain's built-in sense of what goes where. What feels shocking to families is often the result of a brain struggling to interpret familiar environments. It's a shocking number, and one most families don't believe until it's too late. Dementia doesn't just steal memories. It slowly rewires how a person feels, responds, and interacts with the world around them. That's why spotting the early signs can make all the difference, even when they seem unrelated. Let's keep going. Number 4. Misusing bathroom items. Larry was 75 when he first started using too much toothpaste, squeezing out half the tube at a time, and leaving the sink a mess. His wife thought he was just getting sloppy, but then she caught him brushing his teeth with hand lotion, claiming it tasted fine. His behavior escalated over the next several months, using shaving cream as shampoo and spraying hairspray on the bathroom mirror to keep it from fogging. After nearly a year of these strange and inappropriate routines, the breaking point came. One morning, he poured mouthwash into a frying pan and swirled it around like cooking oil. That finally pushed his wife to take action. Larry was later diagnosed with Alzheimer's disease, and his wife blamed herself for not seeking help sooner. Clinical studies warn that as dementia sets in, the brain may lose the ability to match everyday objects with their intended purpose. It's not just forgetfulness, it's a breakdown in how the brain understands function, sequence, and context. What seems quirky or careless might be the first real sign that cognition is slipping. Number 5. Repeated hand washing. A year before she was diagnosed with vascular dementia, 74-year-old Melanie started doing something odd. She'd go to the bathroom, wash her hands, and then return 2 or 3 minutes later to wash them again. At first, the family joked that she was just being extra careful about germs, but the habit intensified over time. She began carrying a bar of soap in her purse and washed her hands everywhere she went. The turning point came when her son found Melanie in the dark bathroom at 3 a.m., washing her hands in complete silence, rubbing her skin raw under cold water. When asked, Melanie whispered, "They're still dirty. I can feel it." That was the moment her son decided he'd had enough and finally scheduled a cognitive evaluation that morning. According to neurologists, obsessive hand washing can be an early behavioral sign of dementia, especially when it's driven by anxiety or a breakdown in short-term memory. The brain begins to lose track of whether a task was already completed, leading to repeated actions that feel necessary but serve no purpose. Number 6. Hoarding toilet paper or soap. At first, Brian's family thought it was a leftover habit from the pandemic, but the stockpiling didn't stop. About 2 years before he was diagnosed with Alzheimer's, at 80, he had stashed over a dozen rolls of toilet paper under his bed and another pile in the linen closet, wrapped in plastic. He became extremely defensive if asked about it. "You never know when things will disappear," he muttered. Over the next few months, his wife found soap bars hidden in the freezer, paper towels stuffed in the car trunk, and even a bottle of hand sanitizer tucked inside a cereal box. He accused his grandson of stealing the good stuff and locked the bathroom door, even when no one was home. The behavior escalated until Brian's family finally pushed for an evaluation. Neurologists explain that hoarding can be an early sign of cognitive decline, especially when it involves everyday items. As the brain's frontal lobes begin to deteriorate, seniors may develop irrational fears of running out or being unprepared. In many dementia patients, this behavior is driven by a mix of paranoia, compulsion, and a distorted sense of control. Number 7. Refuse to flush or touch the toilet. 2 years before Amy was diagnosed with Alzheimer's at 83, she stopped flushing the toilet after using it. At first, Amy claimed the handle didn't feel right, so her daughter assumed it was arthritis or something. But the excuses kept changing. She once said the toilet was watching, and that flushing sounded too loud. Over time, the behavior escalated. Amy refused to use the toilet completely and began relieving herself in the shower instead. When asked, she muttered, "It's cleaner this way, and I don't have to touch anything." The breaking point came one afternoon when her daughter caught her squatting behind the living room couch, saying, "This is the only spot that is not contaminated." That day, they finally stopped rationalizing and scheduled a full evaluation. Brain scientists confirm that declining cognitive function often leads to irrational fears and distorted beliefs about hygiene, safety, or contamination. When dementia begins affecting sensory interpretation and logic, simple routines like using the toilet can feel threatening, leading to avoidance, rituals, or inappropriate substitutes. They won't tell you what's really going on. They'll say it's nothing, that it's private. But when the bathroom starts revealing secrets, it's already too late to ignore.
And there you have it. What are your thoughts? Next, dive into this video for more essential tips to transform your health and help you thrive. You're going to love it. Thanks for watching Healthy End, and we'll see you there.